Good morning, everyone. This is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and welcome to the morning show, where we go over spoilers, we do magic discussion, and Q&A. If you got questions you need answered, you're in the right place. And we also do Decklist review. So if you have a 75 that you need some feedback on, want to fix the mana base, also help fix the win condition, maybe shore up one of your bad matchups, you're also in the right place. So brew up your cup of coffee and let's brew up some magic discussion. Welcome to Coffee and MTG for January 18th in 2021. It is a wonderful morning for everybody. Hope everyone's got their, wherever you are in the world, grab your coffee, grab your tea, whatever it is that's good for you. And let's have a great morning this morning as we dive into more Kaldheim spoilers. I don't think there's anything super exciting that was spoiled recently, but we will go over what we can see. Like, look at this land. Look at the Rakdos land. It's garbage. Immersturm. What? Immersturm. Skullcairn. We can't even pronounce this thing. Land, it enters the battlefield tapped. Okay, you got a black, but it's got like a black, double red, and you have to tap, sacrifice it. It deals 3 damage to target player. That player discards a card. Activate this ability only anytime you can cast a sorcery. Like, what are the odds by turn 5 that you can get your opponent to discard anything at all? I don't know. Maybe if you're up against a control deck or something, this might be partially useful. But for the most part, I think this is really clunky. You're basically spending 5 mana because you have to tap the land itself and sacrifice it to deal 3 damage. And that's, we could do better than that. I think we can do a lot better than that. So anyway, Immersturm Skullcairn. I wish Coffee and MTG started with the Nikachu thing. What's the Nika? Oh, you mean the bunny thing? Maybe that's possible, but I don't want to get the work in to get the animation in. It's possible, though. Good morning, Aaron. Good morning, Olaf. Good morning, R. Guten Tag, Nikachu from Germany. Georgios, good morning. Also, good morning to everyone. I'm from Canada. Good morning, Pancho Hernandez. Arvel, then help him pronouncing this card. Yes, that's correct. Good morning, Peyton. Good morning, Steven. Oh, yeah, we're going to dive right into the spoilers. We love spoilers. We also love leaks, but we love spoilers. Where are the humans in the meta? In Modern, I think maybe humans is underrated. So here's the deal. If there's a lot of 50-50 matchups for humans. On the other hand, humans has some really powerful sideboard cards available to them. For example, they have access to Auriok Champion. Like this is like a black/red hoser. And they also have access. The other successful humans list I saw recently was playing with Magus of the Moon. So they're playing, you know how like the best decks in the format right now are leveraging Blood Moon? This is a way to shore up some of those Titan matchups that I'm sure the humans players are having trouble with. But the bottom line reason is that there's a lot of matchups that are just 50-50-ish for humans. Just too many 50-50 matchups between Uro and Titan and the Rakdos deck, and it's not super favorable. It's not like humans doesn't have like a million fantastic matchups, but they've got some powerful sideboard cards. So I saw some lists that are, you know, going in the direction of like playing pure hate, you know, 4 copies of this, 4 copies of that, and it's possible. It's possible. Maybe if humans has the right list, because a lot of humans lists, they like to hedge on this and that in their sideboard. They have 2 ofs of everything. Maybe if you go all in on the hate, it would be enough. Head mod Lord Magicus, and yes, that's correct. This is an official title now. Lord Magicus is the head mod. Good morning, Spencer. Does the new Red God see play in Storm? Okay, I don't know what the new Red God is. Is this at the top? Okay, so this is the god. Bergi, God of Tales. So, for 2 and a red, we've got a legendary creature, God, Bergi. Each time you cast a spell, add a red. You don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. You can boast your creatures up to 2 times each turn. No, I don't think this is going to see play in Storm. I think it's pretty expensive by itself. And Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I doubt it. I think if you already played a ritual, you're just going to play more rituals into your Gifts Ungiven. I don't think you want to spend the time and the mana to play a 3/3 creature and then like wait for the next turn to like combo off. I don't think this is what they're looking for. They'd rather have more brawls and Goblin Electromancers. Now for anyone who's looking at this card for the first time, it's got the second half, the artifact half. Harnfell. Discard a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. I mean, this is just like a worse light up the stage. You get it forever. You just need to discard a card. What, is it just discard? Discard a card, exile top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. I think if you pay nothing to discard, that's a pretty good effect. But 5 mana, that's a commander card. That's commander territory here, people. Good morning, Eduardo. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and MTG for January 18th. I got my coffee ready. Is Tron still green red Tron or mostly mono green? You must be from 6 years ago. Tron hasn't been green red for, I would say, at least 4 years. There was a point where there was enough Blood Moon in the format, especially because of Mardu Pyromancer. They were the premier Blood Moon deck at the time, that Tron would get color screwed if they went red-green, because your Grove of the Burn Willows gets turned off. So now they can't Ancient Stirring, Sylvan Scrying. They can't play their green sideboard cards to destroy artifacts, enchantments. So they went mono green, and it's been consistent ever since. The sweepers that they gained from the red splash, or like splashing red, didn't compensate for the fact that you get screwed by Blood Moon. Because Blood Moon is good at slowing Tron down, but it does not beat Tron. At some point, they get the 4 mana. Okay, Karn the Great Creator. They get or even 3 mana, they play Oblivion Stone. They get the 5 mana, they crack the Oblivion Stone. Like, they can still play land drops. But if they go 2 colors, Blood Moon hurts them more because they don't have access to basic forest to cast their Sylvan Scrying, to cast the Ancient Stirrings, to get them out of that rut. So to mostly answer your question, it is only mono green. It is basically, if you're talking about those green variants of Tron, it's only mono green. I've not seen a 2-color Tron deck in forever. People are talking about Infinite Storm combo with the new Red God. How is that? What is the Infinite combo? I mean, if there's something new that we've never seen before, maybe this is possible. But it looks like they have to take a turn off, just like how they have to take a turn off with their each time you cast a spell, add a red. You don't lose this mana. So what, you can wait till you have 4 mana, play this, play a cantrip, get a red mana, play a ritual off of that. I don't know. Good morning, Aiko. Good morning, Guest Bacho. Good morning. Good to be back and tuning in. Hey, Nikachu. By the way, can you hear the music? I listened to my Coffee and MTG on Friday. No music. What the hell? Can you hear the music this time? I have like desktop audio turned on. You should be able to hear my Spotify playlist. Please tell me that you hear music. It's a lot, it's a lot more fun talking Magic in the morning with the music. Morning, Torborg. Morning, Frederick. Yeah, and with mono green, it's easier to get Nature's Claim. That's correct. Well, it's just easier to cast your sideboard spells in general. I'm building a Merfolk deck playing where my Merfolk is Thassa's Oracle, huh? Thassa's Oracle is a very interesting card. Can dig for your better pieces and also can sometimes be a combo piece. These are the last spoilers that were last published. I don't know if there's anything new. I mean, it's news for me, as far as I'm concerned. I hear it now, but it's mostly the metronome. Do I need to turn this up? What do you think? Which modern cards desperately need a reprint in Modern Horizons 2? They will not reprint anything in Modern Horizons 2. Modern Horizons 2 is not a reprint set unless you're talking about printing into or unless you're talking about printing into Modern. Because a lot of people speculate we need Force of Negation to get reprinted, but this is not the set to reprint those cards. But I think that's what you're insinuating, because there are a lot of really expensive Modern staples. Like I don't think anything is going to get reprinted in Modern Horizons 2. Modern Horizons 2 is just going to be, except the fetch lands. They are putting the enemy fetch lands in there, but outside of that, I don't think they're going to reprint anything. Also, have you seen this Blood Sun? Oh yeah, of course, we've all seen it. The Blood Sun, Lotus Field, Jeskai Modern deck. What do you think about it? I think it's a Jeskai deck. I think it's powerful. I think if you're good at Controlled, it's definitely a playable deck. And Aspiring Spike has done very, very well with it. So, we just need Aspiring Spike to be training other Spikes to win with this thing. I think Blood Sun is very unique design space that not enough people have explored. I will say that. Blood Sun is a lot better than it looks. I guess one problem is a lot more decks would prefer to play with Blood Moon. Morning! Would Basking Root Walla in Modern Horizons 2 break Modern? Absolutely not. Not this just like a 1/1 for 1, you can pump it up. This card would see no play. Hey, Dacine. So this is a 1/1. Oh, you want to use it for the madness. I still don't think so. I could be wrong. I don't want to underestimate free spells, because this could potentially be free. I don't know, in a Hollow One deck, Burning Inquiry, discard 3 cards, but occasionally you discard a Basking Root Wall and you can just put that thing onto the battlefield instead. So, I don't want to underestimate it. I don't want to underestimate it, but I don't think it will break Modern. Modern Horizons 2 is reprinting fetches though, so reprints aren't impossible. They're not impossible. I'm just betting against it. With the exception of the fetch lines, because they announced it in advance. Not sure if I missed this discussion or not, but is Bergie good enough for Storm, or is it too slow? I think it's too slow. So people say there's a new combo involved. You got to tell me the combo, because I don't see it at face value. I see a 3-mana creature, which I don't think Storm is looking for whatsoever. So if there's a combo, you got to spell it out to me. If you're going to ask me, is this playable in Storm, I'm going to say no. If you can tell me the idea, because people are telling me this is a new Storm card. Okay, how? Let me know. That's part of this thing. I'm not going to be able to figure it out by myself, because you spend a ritual just to get this thing in play, as far as I'm concerned. I get this question a lot. Mirko, do you think Careful Steady will be added in Modern Horizons 2? It could. Like, it really could. I'm hoping it doesn't, because I think that would be a disaster idea. I think that would be terrible. I really don't like the idea of Careful Study added to the Modern format, because all that's... The front half... The front half of Faithless Looting is what gives all the free wins in Modern. The front half of face, like the turn 2, turn 3 kills, all because of the front half part of Faithless Looting. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Yeah, and yeah, sure, it's got good flashback, but the flashback does not create the turn 2, turn 3 kills. So I don't want this effect even without a flashback. But that's just my opinion. That has nothing to do with what Wizards will do. Wizards could do fucking anything, and they most certainly could print Careful Study into Modern. It's possible. So if you, for anyone new to the show, if you want your questions answered, give 3 question marks before the question, 3 question marks after the question. Helps me find your comments and discussion in the sea of all the comments being posted. Or you could donate super chat. So if you're on YouTube, you can donate, and your comments go straight to the top. And from my perspective, it's like it practically flashes. Is Risk Factor a budget option for Seasoned Pyromancer? Problem is, cards like Seasoned Pyromancer don't have any budget replacement. Like, no one played Risk Factor before. And so now there is a card like Seasoned Pyromancer that exists. Is there a budget version? And I would say no. There's nothing. I don't think this is a you could play this, but it's still mostly just a 3-mana deal 4 damage spell. I guess it's not too bad. Maybe this card is really unexplored. The Jumpstart is really nice. Yeah, it's Browbeat with Jumpstart. Browbeat existed for a very long time. Like, that's not a new card. Careful Study plus Basking Rootwalla means they'll revive Blue-Green Madness from 2001 into Modern. They can do anything. I would rather they don't bring Madness, because it's just a way of cheating powerful stuff into play, and we have a lot of discard outlets in Modern. Anyway, does Powermaster need a reprint? Everything needs a reprint, but I don't think it's going to happen in Modern Horizons 2. You could use this as a replacement, but honestly, I would just probably have... If you need a creature, I don't know what you're replacing it with in what deck, but likely you just should have another creature in its place instead of Risk Factor. What do you think we need in Historic to make Merfolk tier 1? It's possible Merfolk's already tier 1, only because like the hands down most common deck is like Sultai Uro. Like, I'm hearing people in tournaments say they play like they play against 8 copies of Sultai Uro, and I think we have a good matchup there. I don't know if we need anything. I should probably play more Historic and get more Historic content, especially since I'm getting my ass kicked in Modern right now. Good morning, Horace Yo-Yo. Welcome to Coffee and MTG. Hello, fellow teenagers. Speaking of cards that people overlook, what's your favorite overlook card for Modern, and why is it Sin Prodder? It's not quite Sin Prodder, but I don't know what my favorite overlook card is. Is 2021 the year of combo in Modern? Probably. I think there's a lot of combo decks, or even all the aggro decks act like combo decks. I still have post-traumatic stress and stress disorder from Careful Study turn 1 into double Rootwalla Go. Was that busted? I mean, you didn't lose anything, right? I guess so. Turn 1 Careful Study, draw 2 cards, put 2 bodies on the battlefield. Not bad. Not bad at all. Is the artifact stealing Merfolk a real sideboard consideration if Hammer Time becomes widely spread? Yes. Yes, I do believe so. You're talking about Thieving, Skydiver. Maybe even in the main deck. It's not that bad of a card by itself, because it does have built-in flying, and it's 2 mana, so like it's not that bad. But it would be ideal if we can actually steal stuff from our opponents, and I don't know if there's enough opponents out there to take stuff from. Unfortunately, it's a little too slow to take an expedition map, because by the time we get to our 3rd land, they've already cracked their map and it's too late. So I think, yeah, if there's enough Hammer Time and maybe enough other cards, we could see this seeing a little bit of play. I think it's a great card, but it needs to be well positioned. Some people love an Arena out there. I have to say, I love playing on Arena. I'm not the biggest fan of actually watching it, though. For me, Arena is like, I love playing on Arena. It's so smooth. It's so fast. The graphics, the engagement, it's great. But then when I'm watching Arena, it's not the same. I can't really see what the hell is going on. What are the cards on the battlefield, you know? I know when you're watching it live, Cardboard Live gets you the option. It gives you the option to like hover your mouse over and see what everything is. But that's like useless on YouTube. Just completely useless on YouTube. What do you think of the Foretell mechanic in general? I think it's clunky and slow. I don't think it's a very competitive mechanic, but it will have some advantages somewhere. With the last historic Weekend League results, what do you feel about the format? I honestly have not seen the results. from what I'm hearing, the buzz on Twitter says the format is a pile of shit. Ban Uro. That's what I'm hearing in the Twitterverse. This format sucks. Ban something. What's wrong with all of you? What's wrong with you wizards? Yet somehow Magic the Gathering Online is more comfortable to watch. I wish, one thing I wish Magic the Gathering Online had was just like engaging music. Like, I don't know if anyone plays Hearthstone, but I love their music. I love the music in Hearthstone. I love all the music, and also to an extent, Arena also upped their music game. Why is it so hard for them to have good dedicated music for Magic the Gathering Online? They have nothing for music. It's terrible, and all the sound effects are garbage. Like, what? How is that a very big investment to improve the music? I mean, it's all part of the experience. And it's just this bland, blank nothing. You can turn it off if you don't like it. But what little they provide right now is low-class garbage. All the sound effects came from like some sort of free website. They don't have anything customized for themselves. How viable is Bedlam, Reveller, and Modern? Very viable. I mean, it just needs the right shell, right? I swear something beat me with this thing recently. It's still a good card. It's 2 mana. Put a 3/4 creature on the battlefield and draw 3 cards. Nothing wrong there. Just needs the right home. It's been Modern playable since it got printed. Is there a card from the spoilers you're excited to playtest? Absolutely. The Mystic Remora card. Or, sorry, Mystic Reflection card. Mystical Reflection? Mystic Reflection? Mystic Reflection. This is what I'm most excited about, because we can make 1 million Master of Wave tokens. I can copy the biggest creatures of my opponent, or turn my opponent's creatures into like Lord of Atlantis or a Benthic Biomancer. I'm gonna get you with that Benthic Biomancer. I'm gonna get him. Yes, or yeah, Benthic Biomancer sounds good. Feel My Pain. 1 mana, 1/1. Will Golgari Death Touch make it into Modern meta with the new legend from Kaldheim? You have to be more specific. I have no idea what you're talking about. If you know the name to the card. If anyone knows what Nick is on about. Will Golgari, the Garagi, I want to say sing Golgari, but maybe I'm wrong. Mystic Reflection uses targeting, unfortunately. Choose target non-legendary creature. Next time, 1 or more creatures or planeswalkers enter the battlefield, that this turn they enter as copies of the chosen creature. So you can also, in theory, counter like a Teferi Time Reveler and turn it into a Merfolk. So they play Teferi Time Reveler instead of counterspelling it. Mystic Reflection. Oh, the Poison Legendary spoiled on Friday. Where is it? Where is it? I know it's like, is it? Oh, I can't remember how much mana it is. Is it 4 mana? I thought it was like 2 mana or something. Pretty sure it's 2 mana. Okay, hold on. Let's just look up Bergie. Oh, this one. You got to explain to me how this is broken. I really don't think this is. I don't understand how it's broken. Or maybe I got to play against it. Maybe the Storm players know better than me. Why no one plays Delver of Secrets in Modern? Because it sucks. I mean, a more accurate explanation. We're getting this question a lot lately. I don't know why. But the deal with Delver of Secrets is... There's a really good explanation. So first off, it's a crap creature from the start. You're not guaranteed to flip this thing in Modern. There's no cantrips like Brainstorm or Ponder, which could put an instant or sorcerer on top of your library. So basically, you're blind flipping this card over and over again. And it could literally be a 1/1 for like 3 turns in a row. You have to be lucky that it's going to be really, it's gonna flip really quickly. Second, it's super vulnerable. There's more removal in Modern than Legacy. So in Legacy, if you play a Delver and it flips, okay, that's totally fine. There's way less removal coming in from your opponent to deal with this. In Modern, there's shitloads of removal. Like, do not expect this Delver of Secrets to live. And at the very least, like, that's why Death Shadow decks, originally when they were designed, they tried to play Delver of Secrets, but then they found out Delver is just a pile of crap in the deck. Let's screw Delver of Secrets, just play Death Shadow Gurmag Angler, because we need creatures that can be resistant to most of the modern removal, like burn spells and Fatal Push. So Gurmag Angler is invincible to Fatal Push. So it's just too small, too weak, and you can't protect it at all. Like in Modern, you have Force of Will, you have Daze, you have cheap ways of protecting your one little creature, even if it is under fire. But you don't got that in Modern. You just don't got it in Modern. So that's why Delver doesn't see any play. Okay, so we're saying it was Finn. Okay, get to the point. Is this Modern playable? No, because whenever a creature you control Death Touch deals you're just making like a really bad poison deck. I do not think that this is playable in Modern. And I think the fact that it's legendary sucks as well. It's not good. It's probably a commander card because you could just build a deck around Death Touch and make this your one commander creature. Have I been playing Historic Merfolk lately? I have not. I've been trying to crack the code of Modern. I have failed miserably so far. I have not cracked the code. My results are just all over the place. Go 5-0 once, go 0-5 another league. But I have not, but it motivates me, honestly. It motivates me. Like, what are we gonna do in order to, like, figure this out? There's something must work. I don't know what it is yet, but something's gonna work. Bergie, Underworld Breach, Burning Inquiry, mill all players. Is it as simple as that? And is that better than just gifts for the combo? Because once you gifts ungiven, you usually win on the spot. Bergie, Underworld Breach, Burning Inquiry, mill all players. So you discard... Why do you not mill yourself as well? Because everyone discards, right? Also, I have to say, milling someone to death is a risky strategy because that is very easy to play around. Just ask the mill players. They're not that fat. They're not that thrilled with, I mean, the mill strategy works until people start bringing in sideboard hate, and then try beating that Kozilek. I asked my local game store manager if they are going to have Modern tournaments. They said no, because it's a dying format. I just bought a Death and Taxes deck and really want to play the format. What is your take? My take is your local game store manager has no idea what they're talking about. There's no paper, like there's no paper Magic right now for barely any formats because you just can't play paper Magic, period. But online, it is, like on Magic the Gathering Online, Modern is the most popular format. Of Standard, of Pioneer, of Legacy, of Vintage, Modern is hands down the most popular format. So mark my words, when the pandemic ends and it's safe to go to your local game store and play paper Magic, all the Modern staples are going to rise. They're all going to rise because everyone's going to want to play Modern again. Right now, if you want to play Modern, your best bet is just to play on Magic the Gathering Online. There's just no way around it at the moment. But I will say your Death and Taxes deck will be waiting. Your Death and Taxes deck will be waiting from when Modern is safe to play in paper again. Does Nikachu see the comments? Yes, I do. But it helps if you, like, the rules around here are, giving question marks before the question and after the question, because it helps me find, like, I'm from my perspective, I got I'm streaming this to 2 YouTube channels and a Facebook page, so I'm getting messages from all over the damn place. So the only way that I can get the super important questions are the ones that are you're giving me the question marks. Or if you're on YouTube, you can pay with super chats, and that will bump your question right to the front of my eyes. Do you think Merfolk has a better matchup against most decks in Modern because Uro slowed so many decks down? If people start running Arc-Light, Phoenix, Traditional Burn, will your wins go down? You got it wrong, Torborg. Uro didn't slow the format down, it sped it up. Because if you are a slow deck, you can't compete with Uro. And that's actually why I'm struggling right now. Why there is like, I don't want to play against Prowess. I don't want to play against Titan decks that can go over the top of Uro decks. The format didn't slow down. It like sped right up. There's like more combo decks right now than ever before. The Heal-Aid Company deck that just try to win by turn 3, you know? So it's the opposite effect. The format is speeding up, not slowing down, and that's to our disadvantage. Because if you want to beat the Uro deck, you can't go the long game. You got to play the short game, or you got to play a combo deck, or you have to go way over the top with a Titan deck. Right now, there is 3 main removal spells in Modern: Push, Bolt, and Path. What if there were another 2 for blue and green? How would that affect the format? Probably not by much, because if you wanted to splash for any of the other 3, you already can. So I don't think the format would be affected by much, unless they were like super unique removal spells. Or you mill yourself too, but you're not the one drawing the next card. I got it. But you still have to beat like Kozilek. It'll be interesting if they want to go that route, but it's milling. Milling to win is a very vulnerable strategy. It's a very vulnerable strategy. Modern is the only format that fires on paper. You know, the deal is your local game store. I don't know. I can't remember who asked the question, but your local game store manager, maybe locally, Modern is not doing very well for that manager. So from their perspective, Modern is dying. But globally, Modern is doing very well. It's the most stable format of all the formats. People can whine and complain about it, but people have been doing that for like 6 years. So nothing unusual. That comes with it's a feature, not a bug. How do you feel about the Spirits deck in Pioneer? Is it a good deck? I haven't played it in Pioneer. I hope it's good, because I want to play that deck in Pioneer. I like it a lot. I own all the pieces for it, but I don't know, because I haven't played Pioneer for a while. I've seen like the meta share results. Spirits is really low, but I'm hoping that there's some way of making it good. It's still there though. It's still around. Suna says, what are your opinions on people who stream, play, and make arena content like MTG original decks, asking for a friend? What do you mean by that? Like, what are your opinions on people who stream, play, and make arena content? I may not be familiar with MTG original decks, because I mean you're sort of describing any streamer, you know? All streamers stream, they play, and and a lot of them make arena content. I mean, they're streamers. Maybe you have to be more specific, because I'm not exactly sure. I don't know the nuances of this question. Do you think it's possible to play a Modern deck based on Artificer's Intuition? This is an old card. A blue and a generic. Pay a blue. Discard an artifact card from your hand. Search your library for an artifact card. With converted mana cost 1 or less, reveal that card and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your library. Maybe there's something there. I mean, the card is cheap. The activation is cheap. I don't know what you're looking for exactly, but maybe there's some. It's not one day. If there's enough things to tutor, maybe there's something there. I have no idea how you build a deck around it, but it's like the constant tutoring is very powerful, and the enchantment is really cheap. It's only 2 mana. It's like one day this could, if they make enough, was it just artifacts? Yeah, so if they make enough artifacts, 1 or less, that are important to a deck like this, it will go off. I mean, I could say the card is strong, it's powerful, but how do you use it? What is the shell? That's the key. That's the trick. That's the trick. You got to figure it out. Ian Adair, I run an assault formation aggro deck. It is pretty consistent. Turn 4 swinging with Chardrix, heavy, Simic Splash, White Splash. Any pointers? You'll have to well, I can't say much because I don't know what the deck looks like. And you could also help me with letting me know what the format is. But also, thank you very much for the super chat. Turn 4 swing. Okay, so you have an assault formation. Turn 4 swing with Charix. Oh, the crab. Heavy Simic Splash White. Heavy Simic Splash White Black. Any pointers or suggestions? You have this thing in your deck? Spells your opponent's cast target Charix cost, well, whatever. Charix costs 2 more to cast. And Charix gets plus X minus X until end of turn, where X is the number of islands you control. So you're making a very big thing. Assault formation, though? I thought that was a red-white card. Oh, each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Oh, I had the card mixed with another card. Target creature with defender can attack this turn as though it didn't have. So you have like, that's hilarious. I don't know how to make this. I don't know what the rest of the deck looks like, so I can't give any specific pointers. But I would say maybe you have to have some sort of cards that can help dig for this creature, because I'm sure this is your like main payoff card. And I guess you don't need assault formation, so Charix by itself can be more than enough. Anyway, hopefully you can submit it during Decklist review and we can take a peek at it. How likely is Death and Taxes will adopt the new Snow Hate Bear? I think they'll immediately try it. I don't know if it'll be immediately successful, but they'll try it. There's nothing, it doesn't hurt to play test things. Thoughts on the latest result on the Modern Challenge? I honestly haven't seen them yet. I have not looked. I saw a little bit. I heard Twiddlestorm won in the won one of the challenges. Now, before everyone gets up saying, "Oh, Twiddlestorm is the newest deck on the block," we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. I'm open to any deck being like actually good or maybe well positioned right now, but you know, I've played Magic long enough that, you know, one weekend some random deck wins and people say, "Oh, this deck is great, it's good, we got to buy into this deck," and like, and then it doesn't see the light of day from there on out. It could be real, but I'm more inclined to believe it's real as time goes on, just like Hammer Time. When Hammer Time won its first Modern Challenge, I'm like, well, this is BS. But when it won again and it got like 3 more in the top 8, and then I made more top 8s, I'm like, okay, this is a real deck and needs to be respected. And it started to evolve, and it's now a very good playable part of the metagame. It's a force to be reckoned with. It's for the body, I know. You need that body. It's a big booty on Charix right here. Big booty. The big booty Charix. Show you the rage. Ass first. Is the right time to buy Tarmogoyf, or can the price go down more? I don't even know what the price is right now. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at TCG Player. Okay, let's look at, oh, Tarmogoyf. 33 bucks. What's the cheapest Tarmogoyf? Looks like this one. No, this one. This is the cheapest Tarmogoyf, as low as 30, low as 29. Let's click on this one. The Dinosaur, near mint, $37. I think it's probably right now is a good time to buy Tarmogoyf. Now is a good time to get all the modern staples that you want. This is pretty low. This is pretty low. So if you like Tarmogoyf, you want to build a deck around Tarmogoyf, I think right now is a good time to be collecting the modern staples. Everyone's buying commander cards because no one can play competitive modern tournaments. But as you've seen how the commander cards have risen up in value and the modern cards have been stagnant because no one wants those cards right now. But make no mistake, when the pandemic's over, those cards are going to catch up. What do I play besides Magic? I play a lot of chess. I'm a chess master. I'm better at chess than I am at Magic, that's for sure. Play some defenders. Hexproof defender dude for 2 is pretty sweet. All right, Torborg is in there with some advice for the Charix player. Nikachu did to fix the music issue from earlier. It is perfect now. Excellent. I turned the volume up. That's what I did. How would you budget a Ladamri's toolbox? I just can't seem to do it. Making that one budget? Okay, what's your budget, Corey? What's budget to you? How much money? There's one piece of snow hate, Josie. There's one piece of snow hate. It is like a white god and also doubles as an enchantment. Shoot, I missed the Oh, here's Corey's question. $300. So we have, okay, paper or online? Paper or online? I'll look for... I mean, honestly, we have to gut the most expensive cards, to be honest. One Cavernous Soul, $60. Say goodbye to that. Paper, no sideboard at first. All right, so here's the deal. I mean, like with any budget deck, you have to gut the most expensive cards. I highly recommend we gut some Flagstones of Trocaire. Not all of them, because if we gut all of them, then we have nothing to ramp into with our Elvish Reclaimer. There's only 3 Reclaimers now? Amazing. So, okay, so we're starting off at $600. We need to shave off about $300. How the hell do we do that? Okay, we're going to get rid of the lands. Like, we can't play with fetch lands. It's just simple as that. We can't play with... This deck does not... Does that Field of the Dead? We're going to lose, like, a lot of its power if we remove Field of the Dead. Because we need, like, a diverse number of lands. But I guess maybe there are enough. Okay, so first off, I would get rid of 2 Flagstone of Trocaire. Get rid of the Cavernous Souls. All right, we shaved $100. Where can we shave another 200? It's all in the lands. Like, all the money in this deck is in the lands. And you can't take out everything. Maybe you can take out, like, Field of the Dead. The problem is this deck functions because of Field of the Dead. So you can't really take this out. I mean, maybe you can take out 1. But a lot of your wins are going to come from, like, I would love to recommend, say... I mean, I guess it's better than nothing. You just don't play with fetch lands. But fetch... You have 2 Field of the Deads out, and you play fetch land, crack it. That's, like, big game for a deck like this. You need the Valakuts, or, like, the deck doesn't function. I can shave, like... Okay, like, if we... Okay, we remove 1 Field of the Dead... 2 Flagstones, the Cavernous Souls. That's like $120. Get rid of the Windswept Heaths for, like, I don't know, Sun Petal Grove or something. Some nonsense like this. Or more Sacred Foundries, I don't know. That would... we're up to around 200. I think we can shave 200. Maybe replace Wooded Foothills with something else. But I don't know if I can do better than 200. Because everything is mandatory. Like, you need these Dryads. You need the Primeval Titan. You need the Reclaimer. And you need at least 1 Field of the Dead. You need at least 1 Valakut. Valakut the Molten Pinnacle. Ideally 2. Because, I mean, this is basically how you win the game. But cutting the fetch lands and shaving some of these lands, that's probably your best bet on still making the deck function. Another way you could do it is you buy everything heavily played. Like, these are all near mint prices. Just buy it in dog shit condition. That's how you do it. You need to shave half the value off the deck, buy it in complete dog shit condition, and boom, you got a deck for cheap. Yeah, this is not exactly, this is not really a budget deck. It's possible. It's possible. You'll have a clunky mana base, but it's possible. But it'll be way more effective if you have fetch lands. But I think you could live with it. I think you need at least some flagstones, because that's the point of playing with a Reclaimer, so that you find like one flagstone, then you crack it, and you find 2 lands, and one of them being another flagstones. And that's why I'm saying we could probably live with 2 of them, because you probably only need to crack twice before you get to that Titan onto the battlefield. The 3rd and 4th might be just win more. If you're on a budget, that is. Anyway, I hope that helps a little bit. Okay, guess what time it is, people. It is deck list review time. So I have a link to my Discord in the description below. If you want your deck list to be featured and get some review on this channel, I believe that we could do that. Go to deck list review. Go to my Discord. Go to the channel deck list review. Then enter the command !review deck space. Give the URL to your deck list, and you will be chosen at random people for deck list review. So as people start submitting their deck list, we are going to start thanking our sponsors, starting with the manabase.com, your home base for everything Magic the Gathering. And the Manabase is sponsored by FusionGamingOnline.com. Deal of the week. Apparently save 25% off board games again. We're still saving money on board games. Codenames has really good reviews, so you want to get your code games, you can do it. We get 25% off at Fusion Gaming Online, my favorite local game store. You always want to check in every single week to see what the new deal of the week is. And I don't have any graphic up yet, but you can save 5% off any purchase that you make at Fusion Gaming Online with my coupon code Nikachu. That's right. You can now get even more off on your board games or your cards or anything else that you want to get on the site. 5% off with my coupon code Nikachu. And we're also going to thank our sponsor, Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online and easily one of the best ways to bring your brews and ideas to life. Do it with Mana Traders without investing in the deck. You can borrow the deck and borrow all the toolbox and know the new ideas that you would like to try to test to bring your deck to perfection. You can support the channel by using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or you can save yourself 15% off your first 3 months using my coupon code Nikachu. Where did the name Nikachu come from? It came from this Pokemon card I invented when I was 12 years old. All right, let's get into the lists. Snowmen, please review description. All right. I will. Before we get into deck list review, I better take some. I guess take a sip of water. Coffee dripping. Uro got a new toy, new spoiler. This better be good to interrupt deck list review. This Enchantment Saga, mill 3 cards, return 2 snow permanents from your graveyard to your hand. Choose 3 cards in each graveyard. I don't know if they want this card. I mean, maybe it's accurately costed, but doesn't seem that impressive, to be honest. Not the most crazy thing. Okay, so this is Undying Retribution. Please check out the PDF primer. I am most definitely not doing that. In the primer, there are hyperlinks that can help you quickly see why certain cards are in the deck. Just make sure you download it. I made this primer. I can't read the primer. We don't have time for the whole primer. I'm going to get the idea of the deck pretty quickly. You're sacrificing creatures, and you have Undying triggers. There's Scavenging Ooze, Strangleroot Geist. So these are all things that you can sacrifice and get value from. Then there's Yawgmoth, Thran Physician. Do we have a combo in here? I think we might have a... Do we have a combo in here? Because there are quite a few infinite combos with Yawgmoth, but I don't see one here. Like, we're not playing with, what's it called, Malira or anything like that. Scavenging Ooze, Growlth Messenger. Okay, so Carrion Feeder, sacrifice creatures. This thing can get bigger. Not to mention, you know, everything else can get bigger if you sacrifice it. Scavenging Ooze, not sure what the one-of is for. Strangleroot Geist, because you don't have any tutors for your one-ofs, right? Oh, no, you do have some tutors. You have Eldritch Revolution, and you're playing with Unearth. Oh, Retribution of the Ancients. Remove X1/1/1 counters from among creatures you control. Target creature gets -X until end of turn. So you can take your Undying creatures. Combo with Messenger, but how do you like? Is there like an infinite combo to death? Is what I'm saying. Oh, wait a minute. Is it? Pay 1 life, sacrifice another creature, put a -1/-1 counter on up to 1 target. That's right. It's just a simple 2-card combo. I forgot about this. So just Geralf's Messenger and Yawgmoth, Thran Physician, and boom, it's GG. You can like Eldritch Evolution into it, right? You like play your Geralf's Messenger. Eldritch Evolution is X +2. Oh no, you can't. This costs 4. You can do it with Strangleroot, guys, but then you need to get the Geralf's Messenger another way. But it is an infinite combo. So Assassin's Trophy, Fatal Push, Village Rites, more card advantage off of it. You know what? If there's a deck that could use Village Rites, it's most definitely going to be this one, because you have so many things that have Undying and they come back. This, Geralf's Messenger, Strangleroot Geist. I don't know how you get the Blood Artist, though. This really looks like a very one-off card to me. Because you can't Eldritch Evolution this thing onto the battlefield. I'm sure you can assemble an engine with Carrion Feeder. I'm most definitely excited for Kaldheim. Anything that'll shake up the format is good. Okay, Unearth, Retribution. So X, remove X+1/1 counters from among creatures you control. Target creature gets -X until end of turn. So it's like removal almost. Target creature gets -X. Is there some way you can use this on your own creatures? How big is this PDF? Like, this is not the first time people ask me, like, there's a big description and then it's like a huge wall of words. Well, we don't have that time. Look at the effort, though. I most definitely do not have time to read all this on Decklist review. But what it is it's just a Golgari deck. Like, it's like a Golgari deck, like a Yawgmoth deck, which they do exist. Although I think I like your version a little bit more with the Village Rites. But I would like it a little bit more consistent. I don't see the purpose of Blood Artist in here, because it's just a one-off creature. I have no idea how you get this thing into your hand. Like, how do you get it through Eldritch Evolution? Because it's X+2, and this is just 2. So these one-ofs are very weird to me. I prefer, like, some of these cards got shaved to go more all-in on Yawgmoth or more all-in on Visceraseer. You only need 1, but how do you get it? Like, if it's just a random 1 card in your deck, how do you get it? Like, I understand if you have Port of Calling in your deck, you can get it. If you have, but I have no idea how you find this 1 card. Oh, is it less? I have to read cards? 2 plus a sacrifice. Okay, search your library for a creature card with conversion at cost X or less, where X is 2. Okay. Got it. I don't play it. Then should we have more Eldritch Evolutions? to guarantee that we get the cards that we want? Is that more important than Unearth? I have no idea how well or poorly this thing works. Okay, my first piece of advice is we should go all in on Eldritch Evolution. If you want to make this deck consistent, you need to play this card. You need to play more copies of this card. You have a lot of loose one-ofs, and I don't even think you're playing enough Yawgmoths. But if you want to go down to 2 Yawgmoths, it makes more sense if you have more Eldritch Evolutions available in your deck. This is the card that's going to make the entire engine really consistent. Carrion Feeder plus Retribution of the Ancients. But you have to use mana to activate this. This is the problem with this card. You have to use mana. Ideally, it's a ideally what you want is Yawgmoth, Geralf's Messenger into Yawgmoth, and you don't spend any mana. Or I guess you pay life though. So 2 Young Wolves, a Blood Artist, and Yawgmoth is a win. Yeah, okay, I am fine with Blood Artist so long as you have a way of finding it. I don't think we have enough ways of finding it, though. I definitely would prefer more Eldritch Evolutions over Unearths, especially since this deck already is pretty resistant to removal. I don't mind having Unearthed in the deck, but we need to cut something for Eldritch Evolution. Retribution of the Ancients might be that card. Because if you want to make everything, like, really consistent, like, I think Eldritch Evolution is probably better than even Village Rites. Like, this is good value, but you're just hoping to draw into the pieces that you want. I think there's enough stuff in the main for, like, removal. There's Fatal Push and Assassin's Trophy already. There are some Thoughtseize in the sideboard. Lurrus. Oh, it's a Lurrus deck? No, bullshit. It's not a Lurrus deck. So what's with Lurrus in the sideboard? Life Goes On, Gem Razor, Evolutionary Leap, Collective Brutality. Don't we have cards that have the cost remove a counter from a creature with no mana? I don't know exactly what this is about. This is my deck. The purpose is just to assemble the engine and aggro them out. Yawgmoth combo usually gets sided out. That's fair. But even then, so is this part of an aggro plan? It's interesting. Then, okay, if you're aggroing the... Okay, how do we do this? You are in between 2 decks of going more combo and more aggro, and you should probably pick one. Because if you want to go more aggro, you could probably use the slots by taking out Eldritch Evolution. You could probably keep 2 Yawgmoths anyway. And, like, taking out these, like, fringe pieces and going, like, more aggro somehow. It feels like it's in between 2 archetypes. Then you should just be more of an aggro synergy deck. And like, I'll tell you this much. If you're always siding out the combo, then the combo shouldn't be in the deck in the first place. It's like rule number 1 of deck construction. If you're always siding out a combo, unless you're comboing all the time in game 1, and you have to side it out because you know your opponent is coming in to prepare for it. But I have a feeling if you're just winning on aggro and synergy, go more all in there. Don't play for the combo. Take out the combo pieces and be just more focused on what's actually working. Because I see the synergy of your deck. It's, by the way, very good synergy because there is already a Golgari Yawgmoth deck out there. More in the combo direction, but I definitely could see something like this in the metagame. I don't think this is the same deck. I think that there is another Yawgmoth deck that's more combo oriented. They play like Chord of Calling and stuff. Like, they're super heavy into the combo. Way less on the aggro. Because if you're siding it out, then you just have a bunch of dead cards in your deck in the first place. You know what I mean? Just out of curiosity, Snowman, what are the cards you're siding out all the time? So this gives us an idea of, like, what you should gut in the first place. Because there's so, you know, like, there's always never enough space. Although I can't recommend, I don't know if I can recommend, you know, cards to bring in. Where do you get this awesome music? It's called Stream Beats. I got it on Spotify, but look it up, Stream Beats. This is morning show music, people. This is morning show music. Because it sounds like we should just move much more further into the engine than the combo. I have a feeling that you got inspired by the Golgari version of the deck. And you've moved it in this direction, which, by the way, I think is fine. It's totally fine. So Evolution, Eldritch Evolution, Wind Yawgmoth, and some one-ofs. Yeah, the one that's like, this is sort of the point. It's, you probably remove the one-ofs. I wouldn't mind keeping the Yawgmoths because you should always... First off, Yawgmoth is like a really, really strong card. Really strong. And you can randomly combo off with Geralf's Messenger. So I think it's fine to just randomly have like a win condition in your deck. But I would probably then scrap some of these one-ofs, like the 3 one-ofs. Like, let me ask you this. What would you rather have instead of 2 Eldritch Evolution? Or actually, I should ask you, how good is Eldritch Evolution in this deck? How happy are you with Eldritch Evolution? Tutors are in for game 1 flexibility, but you're basically siding them out. Okay, so if we take out 2 Eldritch Evolution and these 5 cards, the Seer, the Ooze, and the Blood Artist, what would you rather have in? Like, what are some cards that you want to have in the main deck, but you just can't, you just never have room? It's interesting. If we side out, if we get rid of Yawgmoth, it turns on Lurrus. So that's a huge, that could be a huge bonus if we go that direction. I do like having randomly, no, it doesn't. We have Geralf's Messenger. You can't play Messenger. The Lurrus Dream is dead. Gemrazor insane. Then we should have main deck Gemrazor. And you know what? I do believe destroy target artifact or enchantment. Every deck has an artifact or enchantment. Name me one deck out there plays no artifacts, no enchantments. And it's not prowess. Basically, every other deck plays an artifact or enchantment. Maybe this should be in the main deck. So I think you know your deck way better than I do. So I'm going to just say but from looking at it, you have like, you don't have enough combo to really go in the combo direction. And you might know about that because you already might know that because you've been shaving on the combo because that's not what's working for you. It's the synergy that's been working for you. It's the aggro plan that's been working for you. So my suggestion is, you know what? Let's scrap the one-ofs, scrap the Eldritch Evolution, maybe go up to the 4th Unearth. 4 Unearth sounds too much to me. I don't know, put a Thoughtseize or something in the main deck. Move some Gemrazors into the main if you think you bring this in a lot. Oh, they bring in Blue Eye Control brings, like, what's it called? Blue Eye Control sometimes has Damping Sphere. They also have Engineered Explosives. I don't know what the Lurrus is for. Lurrus could certainly be a better card. Yeah, Lurrus Dream died quickly. What does the Uro deck have? You got me. You got me. There's no enchantments. As far I can't think of any enchantments that they bring in or have in the main deck, in the Uro deck. It's all spells. There was a lot of answers to my riddle. But there's a lot of decks with artifacts and enchantments. That's true, actually. Prowess does bring in Ratchet Bomb. So that would be my suggestion. Either, and it doesn't have to be Gemrazor, but I do think that you should, if you know you side out this combo, and you side out the one-ofs, and you know that the combo aspect of the deck is not that important. By the way, maybe you can keep some of these one-ofs, or maybe go up on them. If you think Scavenging Ooze is good, maybe keep some Scavenging Oozes, because, I mean, it's still, like, useful graveyard hate, you know what I mean? And then go up on other cards. Because you need to go more aggro, you need to be more within your synergy. I honestly would still like to keep some Yawgmoths, because it's a very... Left unchecked, it's a lot of value, and you potentially can just combo off out of nowhere with Grolf's Messenger. But I would take out the Blood Artist, the Ooze, the Seer, 2 Eldritch Evolutions, go up on Gem Razors, and hopefully that's... Can compare this deck? No, I don't have a link to it, and I don't have time. I think that's a very different deck, if I remember correctly. Like, I think I saw that thing. Sideboard probably could still use some work. But anyway, thank you very much for sharing the deck. It's a sweet list, and hopefully maybe you can take that. Like, the Yawgmoth deck is a serious deck in Modern. Like, what's his name? Tom Ross is doing very well with that deck, and he performs very well with the Yawgmoth deck. But you're taking it the other direction. It would be very... And clearly you can. They got all the pieces to go more of an aggro route than a combo route. Yawgmoth is not that good in the deck, but honestly, I don't think the deck has the tools to go fully into the plan. Try to make it work. See what you can do. You're welcome. I will say I love creatures with Undying, because I'm tired of my own creatures dying for nothing. Okay, Greg Garg X. Congratulations, you are the next contestant on Decklist Review. Historic Abzan counters. All right, now here's a real Lurrus deck. The dream is alive again. Stonecoil Serpent, Knight of Ebon Legion, Pelt Collector. We have more Golgari decks. Conclave Mentor. Oh, this is Abzan, right? Yeah. Conclave Mentor, Luminarch Ascent, Aspirant. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Scavenger's Winding Constrictor. Thoughtseize, Agadeem's Awakening, Maelstrom Pulse, the Ozolith. What else are we missing here? Okay, so lands, 22 lands. What is this? Crawling Barrens. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on Crawling Barrens. Then you may have it become a 0/0. Honestly, okay, because you're a 3-color deck, I would scrap any colorless lands. This is a huge liability. You're 3 colors. This is greedy as fuck. This is very greedy. It's way too greedy. Don't play with... You can't... Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can have 1. Okay, I'm going to let you go with 1, but I would still say... I would just caution that this is pretty greedy. This is a greedy thing to do. In my opinion. SKT, very quickly. You have a Tron deck on a budget. How many big hits in the deck should I use? You should use as many big hits as you see a normal Tron deck use. Because they can sometimes whiff. They whiff very often. Just make sure you just replace their big things with budget things like Stonecoil Serpent. You have 7 mana, put a 7/7 Trample Reach Pro multicolor creature into play. Okay, Bloodchief's Thirst, Grafdigger's Cage. What? Do you want Grafdigger's Cage in your Lurrus deck? Bit of a non-bow. Just letting you know, a bit of a non-bow. I mean, it's possible. Anything is possible. That land actually saved me tons of times versus control decks. All right. I'm going to have to take your word for it. Then you may have it become a 0/0 elemental. So you can keep making it bigger, is what you're telling me. Bloodchief's Cage, Soul Guide Lantern, Baffling End, Noxious Grasp, and Wilt. And we do have to play Baffling End because it's 2 mana and lets you keep using it with Lurrus. Why do you stream on YouTube and Twitch? Yesterday I was watching on Twitch and today YouTube. Because the morning show does very well on YouTube and Facebook. I have a combined 100... Like right now, I get 152 people watching me right now. But on Twitch, I had 45 to 60 people. So we move where people can enjoy it. Okay, first off, so this deck is very similar to something like Hardened Scales, right? So why don't we have Hardened Scales? Hardened Scales... Okay, so this says trample. All these cards are fine. I'm not... But actually, well, I'm not thrilled with Knight of Ebon Legion. Because it takes more work to turn on. Conclave Mentor is great. If one or more +1/+1 counters put on a creature you control, that many ++... Oh, maybe it's not... I guess this is the Hardened Scales, right? Beginning of your combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Winding Constrictor. You know, you have a lot of cards that are enabling counters, but not enough cards that actually put counters on stuff. Like this thing gets counters, this thing sort of gets counters, this thing sort of gets counters, this one does. So you have like 16 cards, and you have a lot more enablers than actual stuff that gets counters. I guess Scavenging Ooze also can make counters. I don't know how to fix this, though. Thoughtseize is fine. I like how low to the ground this deck is. Again, Awakening is fine. So what does that put you at? It's 22 lands? 22 to 24 lands? Maelstrom Pulse? That card seems a bit clunky. But maybe it's fine. Night has destroyed me many a time. Oh, is this historic? Oh, it is historic. We have to read it. This deck looks great. Okay, so we have to beat... All we have to do is beat, at the moment, Sultai Uro, right? That's all we have to beat. We need... This may be like one of those rare times. What is the 2-mana card that gives protection from everything? Like, gives indestructible. What's the green card? What's the instant green card that gives you indestructible? Branching Evolution? We can't play this with Luris. It's a 3-mana card. Heroic Intervention. I might be able to suggest Heroic Intervention. I believe this is historic playable. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So this is like sort of good. Oh yeah, everyone knows this card. This is a card everyone's asked me for years to play in Merfolk. What about Historic Intervention, Nikachu? I don't want to play it. Not over like a counter spell. What about Nisian Beetle? Beginning of combat on your turn, if you control another creature with power 4 or greater, well, we have to work to that first. I think this is a bit too clunky. It sounds a bit win more. If you have a creature of power 4 or greater, you're probably in good shape. But you have to work to that first. So, like, the only way I see you getting wiped out, like, there is that stupid sweeper. What is the sweeper? There's a sweeper that is like, choose odd or even, destroy Extinction Event? Extinction Event. I hate this card. Choose odd or even. Exile each creature. Oh, it exiles, so this is useless. Okay, forget it. Can't use that card. Doesn't work whatsoever. How do we beat this card? It plays around Luris, too. Like, that's the only thing we're worried about. Yeah, it looks like my idea is useless. Heroic Intervention is useless. Extinction Event and Languish will get around it. What do we do? Like, that's the only thing you have to worry about. Wilt? Is there anything like... I don't want to play stuff that's too janky, but... Okay, hold on. How many Thoughtseize? We're running 4 Thoughtseize? Maybe we need a few more pieces of Hand Disruption. Destroy target green or green target creature or planeswalker that's green or white. You gain 1 life. Wilt. Baffling End. So God Lantern. Maybe we need a little bit more Hand Disruption just to compete with the sweepers. Because I think if you can beat the sweepers, you should be able to beat the Uro decks pretty easily. Negate is great, but we're not running blue. We're stretching the colors as it is. Okay, how about this? Now, might sound crazy. Maybe if you think this saves your ass against control decks, put more crawling barons in the sideboard, and you side into more lands. Because this does get around, like, the sweepers, right? Is Goblins a horrible matchup? We could go up on Grafdigger's Cage, like cut a Soul Guide Lantern. I cannot play in the PTQ letter. I actually have classes today. I might play in the event on Friday, pending when it starts. And if I have a good deck. I think Ballista's banned in Historic, which is good, because I hate that card. Do we need black in this deck? We do. For the Winding Constrictor, Knight of Ebon Legion, and I guess the Disruption. Oh, yeah, it's not... Oh, yeah, it didn't get banned. No, it got banned somewhere. Got banned in Pioneer. But it's just not in... They did not actually print it into the format. I know, there should be white instants that flicker your board. Can anyone recommend one that's remotely playable? But that what will really suck is that we'll lose the counters, right? Well, anyway, so my only suggestion, my possible suggestions, I really like how you built the main deck. First off, it's a very clean list. You have a great curve. I love the idea. I think it's very consistent. Very, very good main deck. I have no idea how much well, actually, you know what? Here's a really good question. Do you even have trouble against control? Because from what I understand, in Historic, like the main deck to beat is Sultai Uro, and you need to have a good matchup there. If you don't have a good matchup, then you know it basically puts the question to every single deck that you want to play in Historic. You don't have a good matchup against Sultai Uro, which in that case. I think try to play more hand disruption in the sideboard, and you're just going to be heavier on hand disruption so that you can disrupt their big win conditions. Oh, you do? Good morning. Had no idea you stream, but I enjoy your videos. Thank you very much, Chilled. Come by every morning. Oh, your main problem is goblins. Okay, so if your main problem is goblins, shouldn't we have like decent... Well, first off, you could just load up on more Grafdigger's Cage, because the most important goblin to be able to beat is Muxus. You have to make sure that when Muxus enters the battlefield, Muxus doesn't do anything. Grafdigger's Cage is basically the better, like one of the better cards to beat Muxus. Also helps defeat Conspicuous Snoop, because they can't play creatures anymore from the top of their library, so they can't like sort of go off. So Grafdigger's Cage, I think, is a very reasonable card versus them. So you could, like, I don't know, remove a Soul Guide Lantern, add another one. What else can you do? I'm not exact. Well, I guess you have this for Uro, but we need something more for the goblins. So you have Blood Chief's Thirst. You do have to keep their creatures pretty low to keep their stuff down. Do you think Wizards selling all access tokens for $25 has an impact on the metagame this month? I don't think so. Because there's always been rental service. I think since rental services started to exist, it's had a huge impact on the metagame. Does discard hurt goblins? Like, but what if they get all the goblins on the battlefield? I mean, I guess you could take their big payoff cards. Plague Engineer doesn't exist in Historic. It's just illegal in Historic. No main Soul Guide Lantern? No, this is most definitely a sideboard card. So some people are saying more discard. Well, I don't know what discard we have available to hit the goblins. Like, Duress doesn't hit them. Thoughtseize does. Trying to poll the audience here. The good goblins are 3+ mana, but like, there's a lot of goblins that will make them cheaper. Oh, that's true. Maybe that's why we're seeing a little bit more Uro recently. Divest. Player player reveals their hand. You choose an artifact or creature card from among it. That player discards a card. I guess that's possible. Liliana? Which Liliana? You got to be more specific here. It's not Liliana of the Veil because we're in Historic. This is Historic, people. It's a Historic list. Historic Abzan. I got fooled too. Well, I think this is all the feedback we can give. I would say if you've got a good matchup versus Sultai Uro, I think you're in really good shape because Goblins, while it is a pretty big contender, it is not the largest contender for the most part in the Historic meta. Like it's a deck, and it's of course it's like super aggro, and it's tough for a deck like your own because you're mostly a creature-based deck, and the way you would probably want to be able to handle Goblins is by like picking them off with a lot of removal. There's got to be some sort of creature that doesn't let your opponent like play creatures from like their deck onto the battlefield. But I can't think of what that could be right now. But anyway, thank you very much for submitting the list. I think the list is very clean, well constructed. You have very thoughtful choices about what's in the main deck and what's in the sideboard. So good luck with it. Anyway, that is going to be it for Coffee and MTG today. I'd like to thank everyone who showed up today. And by the way, if I did not get to your comments or questions or deck list, don't worry. We do this Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. And also, if you want to support Coffee and MTG, I now have a join button on YouTube so you can support the channel if you're not supporting it somewhere else already. However, if you support the channel, you're supposed to get access to my Discord, but I have not connected it yet because I do not see the option yet. There's apparently a lot of people in my position that cannot connect their YouTube account to their Discord. I am one of those, so I'm still fighting the troubleshooting on that. But you want to support the channel, support Coffee and MTG, that is one way to do it. You get one thing, you'll get emotes. You'll get emotes and a badge and all the other good stuff. Anyway, that's going to be it for Coffee and MTG today. Thank you very much, everyone, for showing up. And I might have a small stream a little bit later today because I do have classes today. But I usually stream gameplay on Monday. It's going to move to Tuesday starting next week. But I'm still going to stream today on Monday. It's just going to be, it's not going to be immediately after the show. I have to wait an hour because I have a class soon. But thank you very much for showing up, and I'll see you all next time. Take care, and see you tomorrow.